Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do another video. I'm having me some coffee, and like I said, please feel free to comment and like and subscribe, and click on the bell, for post notifications for new videos. This article here that I'm reading, it says monogamous: why people cheat and the appeal of open relationships. Studies vary about why people have affairs. Some say it's the high from lying and hiding. Some say it's purely about opportunity, but there are as many reasons to cheat as there are people. So what can we do to stop infidelity? Up until 200 years ago, couples generally married for proof of genetic monogamy. In order to pass down their sheep or their farmland, this was necessary to ensure that no one cheated outside of the family lines, and that property ownership stayed within the male lineage. Today, we marry not only to share property, but for love and for desire. The hope for married partners is that we share the desire and that love until death. Although, for over half of us, love wilts on the vine before we are anywhere near death or even old age. Some remarry and choose serial monogamy, creating a commitment to another spouse. Second marriages last only a third of the time, and third marriages are even less successful. The rates of cheating in our culture haven't changed much. Although studies vary, research has shown that almost 60% of men and over 45% of women will cheat at some point in their marriages. Affairs affect 1 out of every 2.7 couples, which is almost 1/3 of all of us. God, that is horrible. And all I've ever wanted is someone to look at me and say, you know what, he's mine, that's my husband, and be happy with me and love me for who I am. Give me compliments, tell me that I look sexy, or message me on my phone and tell me that you're thinking of me or missing me. Those are, type of things that I think women forgot about and just don't care about nowadays. But studies vary about why people cheat. Some say it is a high from the dopamine that is released from lying and hiding. Some say it's purely the opportunity, but there are as many reasons to cheat as there are people. There are, however, no studies that truly prove that we as mammals are naturally monogamous or non-monogamous. We can look at our history as primates either way to justify our behavior. Do we have the capacity to mate with people outside of our primary partnership? Because at heart, we are just animals. Sure. Do we have the capacity to make higher functioning designs because our brains have evolved since the time we lived in? In a recent study at Oxford University looked at the rare infidelity by the length of ring fingers compared to the index fingers of respondents, and they found a slightly higher number, with 62% of men and 50% of women being prone to infidelity, compared to 57% of men and 47% of women with shorter ringers is what they have. And they said that the length of one's ring finger indicates the level of the hormone testosterone that is developing fetus is exposed to in the womb. The longer the ring finger compared to the index finger, the higher the level of hormone, and therefore they rationalized a higher statistical correlation for cheating. However, correlation is not the same as causation, and the reader should exercise caution here before they demand their partner's glove size. There have also been studies with prairie voles, one of the only truly monogamous mammals, compared their mating habits to their very promiscuous cousins, the mountain voles. These results suggest that the one difference between the two voles is that the homebound prairie vole has a higher rate of vasopressin. The more promiscuous female vole had more hormone receptor inhibitors for the brain chemical oxytocin, the hormone that is connected to pair bonding. Vasopressin and oxytocin affect pair bonding, and inhibitions of oxytocin create a resistance to the pair bonding. Interesting to note, when human females are stressed, they have lower rates of oxytocin. Therefore, they may well be a cellular basis for monogamy, but we don't know enough yet to determine it by asking a man or a woman to test for vasopressin levels. We live in a culture where almost 50% of married people get divorced. Many of these marriages, perhaps as many as 1/3, end because of infidelity. Does this mean that as a society, we are not committed to monogamy? Some people assume that infidelity is a symptom of some fundamental problem in a marriage or committed relationship, ignoring the more important dilemma of whether monogamy is even possible for the average person. Maybe half of us are just really bad at choosing our partners. However, it seems we aren't very good at choosing our lovers either. Wow. Only 10% of affairs last even a month, and the rest last at most a year or two. Very few extramarital affairs last longer than 3 or 4 years. Perhaps as a response to this steady divorce rate, today we have a new generation of open marriages. And that's disgusting. To see who, just go sleep with whoever you want. That's nasty, man. Bring home all kinds of diseases. And what is defined as polyamory, meaning many, and amore meaning love, where couples choose to define their own structural forms of monogamy, which I call the new monogamy. Some couples are choosing what we traditionally refer to as an open relationship, where sexual fidelity is not what keeps the relationship monogamous, but the emotional connection defines the monogamy. These open relationships seems to comprise about 4 to 5% of the general heterosexual population. These couples report greater relationship satisfaction than more traditional couples. They have less jealousy and more exciting and satisfying sex lives. However, it is not clear if these couples are in general less jealous and were more sexual before they negotiated their open relationship. Open marriages and polyamory works well for couples who tend to see emotional commitment as the monogamy criteria that works best for them. If their foundation is strong and they can communicate well and they are flexible in general, they seem to be resilient enough to make it work. After infidelity, however, it is also possible for many couples to stay together and redefine their relationship. Somewhere between 20% and 65% of couples stay together after an affair, but research varies around how many couples can make it work on their own without therapy. We do not know that a couple is more likely to stay married when they thoroughly discuss the whole situation. Peggy Vaughn found in her research that thoroughly discussing the details of the affair significantly increased the likelihood of maintaining and rebuilding a marriage affected by infidelity. In fact, 86% of those who discussed the situation a lot were still married and together. Staying committed to one partner for a lifetime isn't easy. But if you put the effort in, guys, you show appreciation back and forth on each side. And Always, make it exciting. Do new things, do things that you don't normally do, but do it together, enjoy each other. Couples in long-term committed relationships have learned many difficult relationship skills, including frustration, tolerance, self-control, patience, empathy, and perhaps the most important thing of all, they have to make a choice to stay every day. Marriage isn't a one-time promise to someone else. It's an everyday agreement with yourself that you will stick it out even when it sucks. And with the extra challenges of the internet, cyber sex, and pornography, it's even harder to stay faithful with the choices available for variety and potential partners. And this is the first time in history that we can cheat on our partner lying in bed next to them. So, cheating is murky, but what do we consider cheating, and when is it really breaking that promise? Monogamy is becoming more complicated in a time when our attention is split off and compartmentalized daily, and we have a deficit of it to go around. The challenge is to keep at least some of our attention focused on our partner and find ways to things alive and passionate. Find ways to keep things. They left that word out. Here's one way to practice. Once a day at least, text your partner in appreciation. That's what I've always said. That's what I just said earlier. Tell them something you like about them that is special and unique to them. Even better, do it in person when you get home. As couples strive to maintain intimacy with each other in a committed partnership, staying attached and faithful doesn't have to be a challenge. Together, you can create a relationship that is satisfying for both of you. And that's what I've always said, it's up to the two of you to make it exciting, and every day and ongoing. It takes a lot of commitment and all of that, and you can't just throw in the towel because you have a bad day. Together you can create a relationship that is satisfying for both of you, regardless of cultural norms or expectations, where the terms are explicitly stated and agreed on willingly. Vital to this type of monogamy is honest and authentic communication. You may have to talk more openly, perhaps than you ever have, about your needs and your desires. That's what I've always said too. And if there's something bothering you, bring it to the table. Let your partner know. Whether you're married or just dating, let them know. Even if you haven't yet made up your mind whether monogamy works for you, talking openly can help you decide. Creating a monogamy that works for you is an important goal for anyone who is looking for a relationship that works. If you or your partner has an affair, there are things you can do to discuss issues in your relationship, how any past affair has affected you both, and what you each want from your ideal marriage. Human relationships are complicated, but making a decision every day to make your relationship the best it can be is simple. Just decide and commit to bringing all of you to the relationship. That's what I've always said. And don't hide anything from each other. If you guys love each other the way you say you do, there should be nothing that needs to be hidden. Everything should be out on the table and open. And bring every finger, even the long ones. So, and that was the last of that. So yeah, guys, like I said, man, it's up to every individual to want to love each other and make things work. And like I said, you've got to bring everything to the table. You can't keep hiding stuff. It's really bad. Like I said, I've been cheated on many a times, and I gave my all. I gave my all in the relationships. I never cheated. I never text anyone. I'm not a social media freak where I constantly have to have attention from absolutely everybody. Um, I have another YouTube channel which I use for my reseller content on eBay. But when I was with my ex, I loved being with her, and I always complimented her. I always told her she was gorgeous, she was beautiful. Um, we always went and did things together, and had a lot of fun. At least I thought it was fun. Maybe it wasn't for her, but I don't know. It's like I said, you've got to make things work, and hiding things and getting on social media, it will be the death of your marriage or the relationship. And it's just horrible. I mean, when you've constantly got to wake up and the first thing that pops into your head, like, oh no, what is she doing or what is he doing? Are they texting somebody? Why aren't they messaging me back? Why is it taking so long? Um, for them to read your message or your text or whatever. A lot of these things go on in people's minds, and it definitely gets you thinking. And some of the stuff that goes on, it can really make you sick to your stomach. And 99% of the time, for me, and I'm sure it is for a lot of people out there, when you feel something in your gut, it is generally right. You should go by your gut feeling on it. Because a lot of people, they'll try to, kind of like the narcissist, they'll try to turn it around and blame you for something. And that's just crazy. Don't let that happen. Stand your ground, Let your partner or your husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, let them know what's bothering you. Let them know that they have got to stop this. They need to do this, say this to make things work. And yeah, like I said, a marriage and a relationship takes a lot of effort, and you've got to give up certain things in order to make it work. You can't just keep going down this path of jumping on social media and putting yourself out there with pictures and innuendos of memes and stuff talking about sex, because everybody knows what you're doing. You're just trying to get attention off of that. And it's not good. It's not good at all. And like I said, that's male and female that do that. And it's just BS for the relationship. And like I said in my other video, a lot of people of today, they just don't care. They don't care about marriage at all. It's just a piece of paper. They still cheat. They still cheat. But anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Comment. I would love to see some comments of people out there. I know I'm not the only one that's been cheated on. So yeah, comment, and let's get to know each other. All of you out there, the whole community. Let's start talking. Because sometimes talking about it can make you feel better. And I know I don't have all the answers, but other people in the community, if they decide to comment, maybe they'll have the answers or know things that I don't. But yeah, please feel free to share my video, like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment. And anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. I hope everyone has a wonderful night. Good night, y'all.